So hello, today I want to make a quick tutorial guide to fin slalom windsurfing. What are the basic needs? What do you need to be able to compete at an okay level? Do you need 10,000 fins and 1,000 masts and stuff like that? So I will try to boil all my experience from the last 9 years I've been doing slalom windsurfing down to what do you need, what should you wish for if you haven't made your wish list for Christmas yet. I will show you what do you really need and what is need to have and what is nice to have. So, and I will also cover some tactics shortly and stuff, everything basic fin windsurfing coming up. Be ready, stay sharp, and we'll go through it all. I will film a little bit on this one for the close-ups. We'll start with the boards. As you can see, I have these. They will increase in value, so because the brand is retiring. But yeah, let's start over here. We have the small slalom board. You can see the size. Jamen det filmer jeg. Du filmer bare mig så lidt pausen. Yes, so we keep going. And the small slalom board, do you really need it? No, you don't. And why don't you need it? Because you already have a free ride board, a free wave board, something if you're just getting into windsurfing, a board that is easy, way easier to control, and where you can use your small sails, because IFCA only allows for 2 fin slalom boards. So, and the one is given, it's always the big one, because most racing is done in light winds, and the most national regattas, they go with the same rules as IFCA, more or less. So they allow for racing on the fin in winds down to 12 knots. And 12 knots is like ridiculously little. If you're on a fin board, it's okay on the foil, but foil will be another video. So do you really need the small board for the big, for the really high winds? No, you don't. Is it nice to have? Yes, it is. I have wave boards, I have everything, freestyle boards. I like to have it. It's very fun for me to go on, but if your level isn't there yet, you can easily just go for a used medium board and a used big slalom board. It also depends on how much you're weighing. Should you go for the bigger sizes as I am, even though I'm not that light? I would say yes, and that we'll get back to. But if you want a small slalom board, you go around 60 to 63, around 90 to 100 liters, and yeah, and for fins, for the small slalom board, you will need something around 32. You can go 31, you can go 33, maybe 34, but 32 is the gold standard. Even if it's 60 or 63, it doesn't matter that much. And you can see I have 3 fins. Do we really need 3 fins? No, we need 1. So just buy 1 okay fin in high wind conditions, 5.6, 6.3, weather where you're on this small rocket. You will be fighting more for control anyways. The water will be super choppy. So just a fin with good control. It doesn't need to have extreme high-end speed or lift. So let's go to the medium board. It's over here. And as you can see, mine is 72 wide. And I can sail 6.3 on this. And I did that for the IFCA, as you only allow 2 boards. In the end, I would also have been overpowered with 6.3 on the small board, but it actually works for me up to very high winds. I have for mine, you can see I have 5 fins for this board. Depending on your weight, depending on do you have to sail upwind, 37 is the golden standard for a medium board. So that's just the fin size to go with, is 37. I have a 35.5. When I go 7.0, I can get away with this relatively small fin in a wide board with the smaller sail, and there's less drag, so I have higher top speed. But if you just need to cover the basics, 37 is the middle way to go. You can go 38, you can go 36, and depending on the fin brand, of course, but 37 is the way to go. Medium board, and yeah, I've done some videos where I really go into how you trim and do all that stuff, so we won't do that today. But you have to have a medium board. If you're lighter, it can also work for your light wind slalom board. And if you move over here, honey. Ja, nej, herovre. Du var sådan, vi kunne få vinklen her. So, and then we have the big board. And this is the board you will be using most in competition. We could see at IFCA, even though it was in Denmark, we'll switch places because of the sun. It is really the workhorse. You sail most races on it, you do most practice on it, and I would say, even though I'm a lighter guy at the mid 80 kilo range, I have experimented with going 82 wide and 80 wide and thinking I don't need that bigger board, but it all boils down to get planing, stay planing. And the bigger board, it isn't that hard to control even if you're lighter. So what fin size should we go for on the big board? 44 is the gold standard. You can go a little bit smaller. I have 42.5 when I'm really powered up. Also, I can go 7.7 on this board, which is a great combo for me. Most people can't make it work. It works for me. And you can go up to around 46. If you go 8.4, if you are 9.4 kind of guy and heavy, you can probably go 48 as well. But I would say the sweet spot is around 44 to 46 in the fins. Do you need 4 fins? No, again, you need one good fin. And here, everything is about getting on the plane. We are racing in 12 knots. There's bad air from your competitors. The wind will be up and down, and then we'll only be measuring at 2 points on the racing course. So you need to have power. You need to get planing. You need to get out of your jibes. So you go for if you only have to have one fin, you go for the softer, more powerful one. You can see this one, super soft. And this is my go-to fin for light wind for now. I have one in development that I'm testing. Oh, det er lige meget. So, boards, get the big and the medium for the higher wind. Take your freeride board and go with the wave sails. Sails, they're over here. It's easiest to have them in the same brand, as you can sometimes use the 430 mast you can use for both 7.0 and 6.3. I would say below 6.3, if you're beginner to fin racing, use your freeride sails, use your wave sails. Below 6.3, it's just very windy. You don't need smaller sails. I prefer, you of course have to trim your sails. I have done videos on that. And yeah, what can you say? At least one mast per sail and have the right mast. It actually matters. I know everybody thinks it's just marketing, but you need the right mast. If you buy an Avanti sail, buy the Avanti mast. If you buy a 0.7 sail, get the 0.7 mast. It matters. And yeah, trim your sails. I have you're allowed at IFCA, you're allowed 4 rigs for fin slalom. So I go 8.4, 7.7, 7.0 and 6.3, and that covers a huge range for me. And that's, if you're bigger, you might step it up 1 notch, and I can also see some sail brands are now coming with 1 square meter steps, so you can go 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5 in Severn, I think, and that I think is a really good way to go. We get equipment that can cover greater wind ranges. Of course, there will be some compromise, but sails, get them. And the most important one, where you should, if you're in doubt, you go for the most important one is the 8.4. Do I need full racer camber sails? No, you don't if you're a beginner. I really like them, but I started with 3 camber sails with relatively narrow mast pockets, and yeah, my result hasn't gotten that better, but my top speed has increased a little bit. But you really don't need it. Yep. If you come over here, we have the booms. How many booms do you need? Do you need 1 trillion? I have some in the car still. I have some in there. I have 3 here. What I wanted to show you was you need what I think you need. I have done a complete video only on booms. You need vario lines. These are the ones from Lisa, and the advantage with those, if you get the vario lines that can really go from, these go from 30 to 50 inches, so you can use them both for foiling and for fin, if you are into both things, so you don't have to have extra booms. So right now I'm trying to use this boom for most of my foiling or big foil, and also for my big fin windsurfing. So, and I like to have the uphaul, as you can see in some of my videos, I'm holding the uphaul in lighter winds. But do we need, this is 210 to 260, and it's actually the boom for my IQ, so it can be used for a lot of things. So we put that aside because we don't need to go that big for the most. So I would say if you go for basic setup, and yeah, we are speed talking today, 170 to 220 will cover you from 5.6, or maybe even 5.0 in racing sails, up to, yeah, you can see it goes to 220, so it can theoretically also hold your 7.7. And then we have a bigger boom, 190 to 240, and yeah, that will take care of the rest. And of course these are without uphaul. I prefer uphaul, but yeah, a different story. Do you need outhaul trim? Yes, you need outhaul trim. That and vario lines and carbon booms. The booms, if you can only afford 2 booms, go for 2 carbon booms. They can be used, but always carbon, they will pay for themselves in the long run with not breaking, and you will just get so much more joy out of your expensive sail and expensive mast. Yep, so that was booms, sails, boards, fins, and yeah, masts. We have them lying in here. You can see I have many. I prefer to have 2 for each size, so if I break something I have a backup. Also they can be a little bit hard to get to, but do you need it? How often do I break a mast? Not very often. Have you broken any mast this season, Casper? No, I have not. So yeah, but always make sure when you rig that they are close together. But I have made videos on rigging, check them out, and sail trim. Yeah, so we get over here. Extensions, how many do you need? In theory you only need 1, but it's pretty nice to have 1 for each sail. If you are struggling to pull the downhaul, I could recommend you getting one of these. I've seen many of the pros use it because it allows you, it's expensive. I'm testing it to see how good will it last, and note, always rinse it every time in fresh water, otherwise you will be in trouble. So that's what, but otherwise I have a million different ones. I also have the electronic one, a new video on that is coming out. So that's what should you say, that's the extensions. The bases, Unifiber makes some nice one you can leave in the board. Duotone does the same, and I think that is a necessity. You can see every pro is also using, most of them are using a system, otherwise you can draw on your board and stuff like that, but it's way easier that they're always in the same place. So something where you can just take that one, leave the base plate in the board and just pull this out and put the board in the board bag, then you have the perfect trim where you find for your mast base that you found on the water, so you know that it fits. Good. And we need some tools. I have this big box and some extra rope and stuff just to quick repair. I've done a video on that. Check it out. I think it's 3 years old. It's still the same stuff in the toolbox. I have 1 trillion fin screws. And why do you have so many fin screws? More than you have fins. If you borrow something and there's different lengths, it's nice just to have a screw that fits. And also, it's a good way to make friends. And friends at a race course on shore is very important, that you help each other. So if somebody is lacking a screw that isn't, they have forgot it or lost it, they come to me and say, Casper, can you help me out? I'm in a hurry. And I say, sure. What lengths do you need? And then afterwards you maybe get a free beer, or they will help you if you break a batten or something. So always remember, stay friends onshore race offshore, but also help each other out on the water. So what more do you need? Yeah, you need a harness. You can go, it's in here. You can go waist harness or you can go seat harness. And I mix it a little bit. For wave I mostly do waist, but we're talking slalom, and there I do the Liberty most because I always use that for foiling as well. Then you need, before you go on the water, you need a start watch. There are 2 different companies right now. There's Optimum, that's the one they use on the startboard, and there's the Windy Timer. The problem, and I've done a video on that, is if you press sync on the Windy Timer, you are suddenly about half a second to 1 second earlier than if you press the sync button on this one. So this one will get you a little bit too early on the start. And that brings me to basic race tactics. Of course, make sure you have your sail numbers in, otherwise if you win a race and you don't have a sail number, you're not counted over the finish line. Always make sure you have your sail numbers in. Have a start watch. The optimum time is the gold standard here. It's pretty expensive, around 100 euros, and if it runs out of battery, have a professional change the battery and reset it. If you do it yourself, you will be in trouble. That's the quick and easy. And yeah, and the tactic is, it's pretty easy. You need to hit the starting line at around 0, and you need to be planing. So always, if you are in doubt, go big. You don't have to. There's no prizes, and try to push the start a little bit. It's better to go over early and then end in the C final than coming late and then ending in the C final anyways. So pressure the start a little bit. And as I told you with the big board before, go for a power setup, because what gets you, the guys who are planing in the planing and making their jibes are winning, or at least getting through to the next round, compared to the guys who are not planing when the start goes off and are not planing out of the jibes or are struggling to get planing. I can switch in some videos here so you don't see me talking all the time, where you can see me pumping, coming not first to the mark, but overtaking quite a lot, because I have the ability to get going really, really fast in lighter winds. And yeah, so that's the tactic. And how do we get good? What do we need to be good at? We need to be good at getting planing. We need to be really good at jibing. And how do you get good at this? You spend time on the water. So don't spend all your money on gear, because you have to have money to go sailing. You have to have money for diesel, electricity, or whatever you're driving, and you have to have put yourself in a place where you don't have to work all the time to get money to buy gear, because it's better to have a lot of time off so you can hit the water when there's wind. Yeah, and that's the crazy speed talking, basic fin, slalom, everything you need. I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe. It helps me. And yeah, and throw a like, throw in a comment. I have definitely forgot something. This was a giant big one take. And yeah, hope you enjoy. See you.